evening, Sastriyakal, wherever you are. Welcome to a brand new episode of a brand new season of a new show that is called Reality Check and Myth Layer with Arnab. It's a show where I'll be addressing some social issues which I personally feel have been neglected for years and have not been addressed properly, and also will do a myth slayer out here, or a myth buster, you can say. In today's episode, I'll be talking about something which we all at times have experienced in some part of our lives, especially during this lockdown period when we are caged within the four walls of our home and nowhere, and you can't step outside or live the kind of active life that we are used to live. But since that's the only way we can prevent this pandemic situation and be safe from the deadly virus. So it's just simply something which you might have guessed already, and for those who haven't been able to figure it out, it's depression. Depression is something which we often address it. Actually, we don't address it, to be very frank. And whenever we address it in a very casual way, as if it's not even an illness. Especially in a country like India, and also in many parts of the world, we still are afraid or not comfortable enough to speak about going to a therapist or about our mental health. But the problem is we forget that mental health is essential, just like our physical health, and so we should always take care of both our physical and mental health, because if we are not able to take care of our mental health, then we can't be able to create a sync within our body, which is very important to lead a very practical and an active life. So I'll start off today's session with some basic facts as to so that we can understand and know more about depression. So it will cover some basic fundamentals about depression. So what is depression? What are the symptoms and its types? What are the contributing factors of depression? Countries with highest depression rates, and finally we'll come to the diagnosis and treatment part. So what is this depression? You will be wondering by now. So depression is a mental health disorder, as you can understand from the word itself. So that negatively affects how a person feels, the way a person thinks, and how a person acts. Depression is a common illness worldwide, and depression is also something that is very different from usual mood fluctuations and short-lived emotional experience to challenges in everyday life. So we need to understand that difference between usual mood fluctuations and depression. So what are its types and symptoms? Depending on number and severity of symptoms, a depressive disorder can be categorized as mild, moderate, or severe. And then it can also be classified further as recurrent depressive disorder and bipolar affective disorder. So, what is this recurrent depressive disorder? This disorder involves repetitive depressive episodes. During these episodes, a person experiences depressed moods, loss of interest and enjoyment, and reduced energy, leading to diminished activity for at least 2 weeks. Many people with depression also suffers anxiety symptoms, disturbed sleep and appetite, and many have feeling of guilt, of low self-worth, poor concentration, and even symptoms that cannot be explained by a medical diagnosis guideline. What is a bipolar affective disorder? This type of depression typically consists both manic and depressive episodes separated by periods of normal mood. Manic episodes involve elevated or irritable mood, overactivity, pressure of speech, inflated self-esteem, and a decreased need of sleep. So now you can understand how it affects your body health, because if you don't have a proper sleep, that is a 7 hours or a 6 hours of complete sleep, you are unable to perform actively throughout the day. So for someone who is facing this depression, you can see that, you can understand that they are unable to sleep for over a large period of time. Now let's understand and get to know more about which countries are most affected by depression. As per world data, around 3.4% of the world global population has been affected by depression. Now it's roughly a figure of 264 million people worldwide. Now you can understand how huge is this number when considered as to a global population of 7 billion. According to World Health Organization, the top 10 countries with highest rate of depressions are China, India, United States, Brazil, Bangladesh, Russia, Indonesia, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Iran. Unfortunately, India is in the second position in this list, and still we are some country who still refuse to acknowledge the fact that depression is actually an illness just like other illnesses. So what's the cure, the diagnosis, or the treatment? There are effective treatments for moderate and severe depressions. Healthcare providers may offer psychological treatments such as behavioral activation, cognitive behavioral therapy, that is CBT, and interpersonal psychotherapy, that is IPT, or antidepressant medications as such as selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, that is known as SSRIs, and tricyclic antidepressants, that is TCAs. Different psychological treatment formats for consideration include individual or group face-to-face psychological treatment delivered by professionals and supervised by therapists. Now, most importantly, we should understand from this that, like any other illness, depression is also very dangerous and can be as deadly as some random illnesses, some other illnesses like cancer. So next time when you tell next time when you hear someone telling you that they are feeling depressed, then please do empathize with them and hear out as to why they are depressed. Trust me, like this, if we hear out someone about the reason why they are depressed, then we might be able to relieve them from that troubled times that is going on in their head, and it is through if it is through by venting out that people feel comfortable. And also, whenever you hear someone confessing to the fact that they are seeing a therapist or going for a therapy session, don't give that look where the other person feels that he's doing a crime, because sometimes they might not feel as comfortable as to speak in front of a known circle as to and share their lively problems inside a closed circle or a known circle. And that's why it is required to visit or go to someone who is unknown and ready to hear you out. And with this, I come to an end of this session. I hope I was able to change a bit of your perspective in this little time. Please do feel free to share your stories in the comment section below if you have ever faced depression and how you overcame it in your own way, or if you're still going through it, please do feel free to share, and I'll love to help in my own way, though I'm not a specialized professional, but still I'll do my best. I'll do my research as to how to help you out. Please ensure that you are taking a good care of your physical and mental health in these troubled times, and please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel to get to see more of my amazing videos. Thank you.